Here's what I eat in a day as a gym rat who wants to build muscle. Now, just for clarity, I definitely don't eat the same every single day, but this is fairly typical of what I would eat. Now, again, for context, I do around 15 steps a day as the dogs have multiple walks, and I train 4 times a week. I'm not tracking exact calories at the minute, but I am keeping my protein nice and high, and I aim for around 200 grams of protein per day. So let's get started. So first thing in the morning, I head out with the retriever, Nala, because she gets 2 walks a day. So I take her out on her first walk before I eat anything. But first stop, Pret, get an oat flat white. Once I finish my flat white, me and Nala head out for the rest of her walk, which is around 45 minutes. She generally has 2 a day, the others have 1, so it's a lot of dog walking. But in terms of food, caffeine kick to get me going, and I'll have breakfast when we get back. So back from Nala's walk, and this is where I would have my first meal, so going to have a high protein breakfast. I love omelettes, they're one of my favourites. They're easy to get loads of protein in. And we go nice and simple, because quite often I'm in a rush in the mornings, or I don't have a lot of time. Nala might join us in the video, she's panting away down there. So yeah, I go really simple. I use ham hock there, low fat cheese, and obviously eggs. So I'm building muscle, so I use 3 whole eggs, but you can, if you're wanting to cut or shred, you could go down to 2 eggs and maybe some egg whites as well. So let's get on with that. Nala, you are panting quite a lot. So my protein target per day is around the 200 gram mark. So I don't always track, but when I use similar ingredients, I know how much protein those have, so I can make an educated guess on how much I'm having. But when I do change my goals, I do track, and it's important when you're first getting into things, tracking protein is a really good start, especially if you're wanting to build muscle. So because I aim for 200 grams of protein a day, I try and have 50 grams of protein with each meal, and then some protein snacks throughout the day. And breakfast is where people can fall short on this. So I make sure I have a good high protein breakfast. So I think the pan's about ready, so I'm going to chuck in quite a lot of ham hock. I tend to use the low fat spray. Sometimes I use bacon, or you can use chicken as well, but whatever to up the protein. I'm going to be eating chicken later, so I didn't want to have it for breakfast as well. And then I use Leerdammer Light. So these are 5 grams of protein per slice, so I find that pretty useful as a boost in that. And that just takes a couple of minutes to cook. So I get pre-cooked ham. Obviously if you're using bacon, might need a little longer. Obviously you can add whatever veg as well that you want in it. Spinach is always good if you're short of time, because there's no prep with it. Same with tinned sweet corn, but you can use tomatoes, mushrooms, whatever it is that you want. So that's my 50 grams of protein post-walk breakfast. I'm going to be boring and add tomato ketchup to it today, but you can also add sriracha, which is really nice. It's spicy, but a little bit of it can go a long way. I'm actually still a little bit hungry after my omelette, so I'm going to grab a banana, but because I'll be training shortly, I don't like to eat too much before I go and train. It's been about an hour since breakfast, so I'm going to head down to the gym.
Tell me what is the reason I keep on dreaming of the season. Sycamore tree, I'm beneath it. Gravity beneath my feet, it slips away while I'm asleep. What's the meaning? I believe that achievements feed the ego to succeed or to succumb to defeat.
That's the gym done, so I'm gonna head into the spa. So I've just been to the gym and the spa, and I'm back up now, and I'm gonna make lunch. I generally do quite a quick lunch. Again, I'm quite lazy in the kitchen, so I go for like a rice bowl, microwave rice, as it only takes 2 minutes, which is nice and easy to get that going. And then the chicken to go with it. This is the dog's favorite part, because they get to have the chicken skin, as that bit's pretty high in fat, so we don't tend to have that part. So yeah, the dogs, they'll be interrupting because they love it. Right, doggies, sit. Nala, chicken skin, sit. So I normally shred up a full chicken. Sometimes it might be that it's already prepared, and then that would be easier. Today I haven't done it. so it means I can just do it while the rice is cooking. I'm gonna do a full chicken because I'm making it for me and Mike, but it's half a chicken each that we will use, but we take off all the skin. Okay, the rice is done. So I'm gonna do the veg. Again, this is just microwave. So just simple pack that I'm gonna throw in. Oh, my third dog's joined me as well. She doesn't wanna miss out on the chicken skin. Come on, darling. No jumping. I like using the full chickens or the half chickens just because it's tastier meat than just chicken breast. That can be a little bit bland. And I don't care about touching chicken with my hands, but you can obviously chop it all up if that is what you prefer. So that's the main meat of the chicken. I'll leave the rest for the dogs when I do that after we finished doing ours. Yes, later. You get it later. So Mike's on a shred at the minute, so he's not gonna have rice, so I'm gonna have rice and then I'll have the rest later. So with the chicken, I need to obviously have a sauce so it's got some taste to it. So we get light mayo, and then we're gonna put in some hot sauce with it. Lots of different flavors, and depends how spicy you want it. This is a bit of a smoky one, but just mix that in a little bit with the mayo. And again, that's just for taste. So it's not like a lot, like between two of us, but it's just enough to give that flavor to the chicken. And we're gonna throw the chicken in there. Now we got some nice flavored chicken. I'll probably actually add some more mayo to that, to be fair. As it is a lot of chicken that we're eating, or I'll save some for later. So yeah, this one I would add to my rice, add in the veg. Mike's gonna have more veg because he's not having much rice. So it doesn't look like much at all. It's not pretty, but it is practical. So you've got your veg in there, you've got your carbs, you've got your protein. So yeah, a pretty complete meal. The other thing worth knowing is I am a very lazy cook. I don't like spending too much time in here, not my favorite room in the house. So I do make really quick and easy meals. And if there are any leftovers, I'll put them in the fridge or freeze them so they're available for another time. I also try and hit my 200 grams of protein without protein shakes. I'm not a big fan of them. So I have to really plan my food and make sure that each meal has a decent amount of protein in it. I used to struggle with disordered eating. So food and the balance of my food is really important to me. I go by an 80-20 rule. So what I mean by that is 80% of the time I make good whole food decision choices, and the other 20% of the time I'll have what I want. This allows me to have food flexibility without feeling guilty. During lockdown, I went through a really hard time and I was actually 10 kilograms lighter than I am now. I was overly restrictive on my calories and became way too obsessed with it all. I then met Mike and we got into lifting, and from that point I realized that food was all about fueling my body so I could get the most out of my training. And then I realized that in order to fuel my body and get the most out of my training, I needed to eat. So instead of focusing on really hard calorie limits, I hit a minimum amount of protein each day and I built on that. And I definitely feel a lot more relaxed about food now. I used to stress about eating bad foods, whereas now, because of the 80-20 rule, I'm so much more relaxed about it. So I tend to eat 3 meals and 2 snacks. So I've been working for a little bit, had my rice bowl, had my omelette, and I'm now going to have a protein yogurt. So there's loads out there, but I really like these ones. They've got 25 grams of protein in and really filling, love them. And I just have that with some fruit. So my favorite are blueberries, but I think I'm out of blueberries, yeah I am. So I'll probably have some grapes. And Honeybear, what do you think you're getting? There's nothing here for you. You can't have grapes. They were hiding. And raspberries. If I need a few extra calories or my protein's looking like it's short, then I might add in some nuts. But if you're looking to lose weight, nuts have loads of calories in for not that much volume. So there's something that I'd say to not particularly have. But for me, and hitting protein and everything, I'll look to top it up and have a nice little fruit bowl. So my afternoon snack. Okay, again, it doesn't look pretty, but it doesn't need to. I'm only going to eat it. So I've got raspberries, walnuts, but sometimes they might be pistachios or might be cashew nuts, something like that. Or as I said, if I'm on a trying to shred a little bit, then I wouldn't have them. And then grapes. So I'm going to go and eat this. On my second dog walk of the day, there's Honeybear. Jabba is out in front leading the pack. And I'm going to be cooking steak tonight. I absolutely love steak. It's one of my favourites, and I bought a really nice bottle of red wine, so I'm going to have a glass of red with my steak as well. Jabba's just rolled in a dead animal, so before I cook the steak, I'll be washing Jabba. Bad dog. So it's dinner time. I'm going to be cooking steak. Mike likes sirloin, so he's going to have that. I took them out earlier because they're best cooked from room temperature. And then I've got rib eye. Pan, I'm waiting to heat that to get really hot, and I'm going to use the timer on here as it's on my phone. I don't have another one. We're going to have this with some mash and some veg. So again, this is just to make it really easy. Sweet potato and carrot mash. Gonna do that for a little bit. And then I've got gastro greens. So gonna have those with it as well. Little sauce thing, which I probably won't use, but there if we want it. So I'm gonna do it bit by bit. And then once the pan is super hot, okay, gonna put this in. Meanwhile, I will pour myself that glass of red that I'm gonna have. I absolutely love red wine. And when I have steak, it's something that I have. Cheers. So I like my steak medium. Mike does too, so I do it for 2 minutes 15 each side, and then I let it rest while the other stuff sort of cooks and gets ready. The dogs, as usual, are here scrounging. It's loud, but don't want to set off any fire alarms, so probably fair. Doggies. Hey. Hey. Oh, you're such a good doggy. You're such a good doggy. Yeah. So first one, the sirloin done. That's going to be medium. That's going to be nice. And then on for my ribeye. Go and let that cook. So here's tonight's dinner: medium ribeye steak, carrot and swede mash, and peas and spinach. If you want to know how to make a gym girl happy, it's this. It's good steak, good red, very happy. So this will be my last meal, but I will definitely have a snack later, as I still probably have around 30 grams of protein that I need to find. But until then, so it is around 9:30 p.m. and I'm going to settle in, watch something and have my last snack. So can I have one of these like protein puddings? They're 18 grams of protein, but because I need around 30-ish, I'm going to have 2 of them. So these are my snacks that I'm going to be digging into as I watch a movie. In an ideal world, I might have managed having 10 grams of protein earlier in the day, which means I could just have 1 now, but these are really nice, so I'm not against it, it's fine. And there are some people out there who really stress about the time that you eat, but if you've been really active in the day, and I've done 15,000 steps a day, I've done an hour of weights doing a leg session earlier, so actually, I want to build muscle, so I want to make sure that I'm hitting those protein numbers as my priority. So I'm going to go tuck into these. Hopefully you've enjoyed my what I eat in a day. If you have any questions, then please just drop them in the comments, and do make sure if you like this style of lifestyle content, then you subscribe and like the video. Thanks for listening.